matters relationships, and we've been having an awesome series, and of course with the help of the Masharias, and they are in studio this afternoon. You can go to our Hope FM Facebook page at Hope FM Live. Tuko pale tuko live already hata pale Twitter X, na tuko live pia pale YouTube at Hope FM Live. And today we are talking about conflict resolutions in a relationship. Mna solve aje mambo hii? Hata mimi hapa ni student, especially newlyweds. Hey, ukunitoa kwetu niambie hivi, nitarudi tisho tu left right and center. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
You
very well. It is a hot afternoon.
Hot afternoon.
It's been hot, yes.
Sema watu wakunywa maji mingi.
Maji mingi.
Karibia hiyo mic, Mr. Masharia.
Asante.
Sana kupata vizuri. Mrs. Mashari, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Siwani, unajua nimeona watu town bado wanatembea na mitungi.
No choice. The weather now dictates.
Mr. Mashari, I know you read about things that are happening. What is the reason for this temperature?
Or the changes in the temperatures. They talk about the global warming, the effect of what we have been doing. It's us who have messed the environment. All these buildings, the industrial work, the trees that we are not planting enough, we are seeing, we are harvesting. This is the consequence of it. And it is getting so hot you can't sleep at night. Yes.
Lala, sahi hata wezi wakaingia tu kwa watu hivyo bwana. Itabidi wanapeana notice. Utastuka.
It is important to bear notice.
Tutakuja kesho mvae nguo.
Very true, very important.
Kesho tuko kwenu.
Otherwise they can get shocked.
They get shocked. Wow. We're talking about conflict resolutions. Before we get into this conversation, I know you guys are parents. Watoto wenu wanaongea mother tongue?
They hardly speak, but they understand.
They understand.
If you speak to them, they'll do that which you want them to do.
But hata wairudisha.
Hapana.
We've tried. I even bought a book at one point to teach them the mother tongue. But you see, the challenge is the friends interacting with, the school environment, the church environment. So they are narrowed now just home. So if at home, you also have the helper who can't speak your mother tongue, you are in problems. Nishida.
So what is the importance of our young people mastering their mother tongue? Or it's just a language? Haina any muhimu?
No, I find it very important that people can speak fast. Speaking many languages is very important. You had the Pope can speak, I think, is it 65 languages and write many others and so on. You never get alienated anywhere. Now, many times we go up country or invite our parents, and you find that our children cannot connect with them properly. And sometimes it's very embarrassing, you know. My dad comes and insists it has to be in mother tongue. And then they are just wondering, what has he said? You know, now because sometimes he uses the original. So it is good to have an extra language. We are going for Chinese. We are going for Germany. We are going for French. Why not also speak? And the current curriculum CBC is advocating, I think there's a particular point where they're supposed to be taught one mother tongue. Yes.
There is hope.
There is hope, yes.
Watajua.
That's true.
Acha aende mahali akute boys anaongea hiyo lugha. Atajua. Wow. That's what we were talking about, because yesterday was International Mother Tongue Day. Now that you are here, sijui naulize swali. Sisi wote hapa around wenye Kikuyu tulishindwa kujua what oh God of all creation, bless this our land, and justice be our shield and defender in Kikuyu. Inaweza sema aje?
Justice be our shield and defender.
That particular statement.
Yes.
Justice be our shield and defender. Reke uigiriki okoro we go ito no giteri wito.
Okay.
You have heard it from a linguist.
Nimesikia hii tunaenda kurekod hii lazima nishare kwa group. So relationships, kuna mtu aliniambia Chris, huyu unaoa si dada yako, huyu unaoa hujalelewa na yeye, si wa kwenu. Kama wa kwenu mnakuanga na conflict, pia hapa kutakuwa na conflict. What are some of the where are we starting first of all when you're having this conversation today? Conflict resolution in a relationship.
Thank you. I can go first. First to say is that conflict is not bad. Conflict helps you to grow. It is during conflict sometimes that you get to understand your partner very well. Sometimes the normal setting, the beautiful environment that we create, makes us to live a superficial life. But the moment we put the natural selves front, and somebody gets to see this is the way we behave, this is the way we yell, when we get angry, this is the way we react, and so forth, we get opportunities for helping each other or even ourselves on how to learn to cope with one another. So we grow a lot during conflict. The problem comes the way we react when conflict comes. So on itself, conflict is not bad, because whenever two people have been brought together, and remember last time we said we meet when we are already fully grown. There would eventually be differences in the way we perceive things or we see things. There'll be differences sometimes even in our value system, our background, in our family. One couple of friends of ours, they said the lady side is where everybody is very humble, nice to each other, they greet each other and so on. Where the man comes from, it is where in the morning that the first word that is thrown at you, anything can be thrown at you. And the lady was so shocked only to realize everybody is okay. So you see those differences. There are so many things that make us to be who we are. By the time I'm meeting you, I'm already fully changed. I'm a fully grown person. Now you come with your also all those things that you have learned from your background, from the church, from the school, from the family, from the society, from the environment that you grew in. And there's about to be some correction. Correcting is not bad. It should be expected. But how do we react about it? And I think that's what we shall be looking at in the course of the day.
This is Macharia.
Yes. I also feel that conflict is not avoidable at all, whether it is at the place of work and especially in the relationships, whereby you're spending a lot of your time and you have invested emotionally in one another. So whether you're married or not, although it tends to increase when you get married, when you get committed to one another and you're together 24/7, or most of the time, that is when now the differences arise. And it's not that people pretend before marriage. It's only that we don't have many opportunities for meeting and exploring conflict and all that. And we put our best foot forward then. And we assume that life is going to be like that. But once now in marriage, now this is where now I am myself, you are yourself, we're spending a lot of time together. You're about to see things that you hadn't seen before. And conflict is rooted in many things. The root causes are very many. And one of them is personality differences. Because normally you'll have somebody is sanguine, the other one is choleric, one is phlegmatic, and the other one melancholic. So the melancholic person is not very expressive. They are quite introverted. And me, maybe I'm a sanguine. And I'm wondering, this person does not speak. This is not what I bargained for. And stuff like that. Something happens and they're just quiet. And they tell you, no, let's think about it through. And you wonder, what are you thinking about? You are so laid back. This is not what I ever dreamt of in a spouse. The other one is a choleric and somebody who takes things head on. And they don't fear conflict. Let it come. You deal with it. And you're looking at that and saying, this is too confrontational. A small thing like that, and you're blowing things out of proportion and stuff like that. So conflict can be rooted in that. And actually, it's deeply rooted in that because personality will definitely influence how we react to situations. And I might take offense because of your non-reaction, overreaction, or just a laid-back kind of thing.
Is it a gender thing that men will kama watarahisisha mambo alafu women are like nini ba? Is there a place that it also borders male react like this female react like this kwa sababu tukiongea base hivi na maboys wasemanga mama akichachisha ni hivyo kitu kidogo
Maybe I may introduce a perspective that I had thought of bringing in here, that different people behave differently to conflict. And there's some association with certain animals of the way we behave. Like, for instance, there are people who behave like a turtle. What they do is they withdraw physically, sometimes even emotionally, and they put on a shell. You cannot break through. Now, there are people who normally say, me, I can keep quiet even for a month. There's one who told me she has kept quiet to her husband for a year. So she has no problem in serving him food, ironing clothes, and so on, but don't talk to me. So that is a turtle behavior, Then there are those who behave like a skunk. And you know how a skunk behaves? It will fight when challenged, It will attack you. It will attack the other person. Sometimes using sarcasm, the way you feel somebody responding to you, sarcasm, blaming you for whatever you may have said. So they don't even take time to listen to you, but they're busy preparing on throwing words that make you feel small, feel like you're not making sense. Are you listening to yourself and so on? Then there are those who behave like gorilla. They want to fight. They must win at all costs. So they will bring even the old past issues that you thought were already buried, and they bring them out. They want to fight you. They want to use temper, intimidation, and sometimes even manipulation. Na kumanipulate na hakikisha kwamba eventually they must win. So the gorilla behavior. Then we have chameleon. Chameleon, theirs will be the yielder, or the person who is who are, they are not confrontational chameleons. They will quickly yield and they will change to fit into the environment. And because they desperately want to be accepted, they'll easily agree with you. They will not fight with you, which is very risky because you don't get to hear their side of the story. And a home cannot be built by only one side of the story. But once they yield, they are okay. And you can comfortably say, my wife does not fight. Or my husband, he's so agreeable. Hey, na hiyo ni shida.
Nikimwambia ni hivi, iko tu hivyo. Sasa anaongea mbele ya wageni huko reserve.
That is
Mungu alinipatia mama.
Na kumbe
mama watoto. Huyu hajawahi hata jibishana na mimi tangu tuoane.
Be very worried. Then there's this one who is an owl. An owl. They will try to intellectualize everything. They see things from, let's reason. Let's use logic. They don't have any possession or room for emotions. So you want them to feel the way you are feeling. They have no time for that. They want to reason out. They will even bring the facts. And not everything really is fact-based. Sometimes you need just to listen to the other person's heart, and you can tell these people are hurt, and therefore sometimes you must look for how can we go about sorting out the issue. There are those who will also avoid conflict at all levels, and these are the beaver. They behave like a beaver. They will bury themselves in work. Mzee anagojea mpaka watu walale ndio anafika nyumbani.
Mimi mambo.
Sipendagi kelele. Unakuta
naioneanga kilometers mingi. Inaanza kujipanga.
Sivyo. Na naweza kukuta mtu ako kwa the neighboring local. That's where they are holding, or they spend a lot of time in the church. But they are fearing going home because nyumbani kuna waka moto. A beaver mindset.
Na kukula na kulala.
Naingia hata msiamke akona kiyake. Afugue kule alale asubuhi. They are the people you hear leaving the estate at 4 a.m. some 5 a.m. You can, and that is why COVID period exposed a lot of things in families. Because when you have beaver type of people, no conflict has ever been resolved. And we shall be seeing what are some of the possible likelihood. Lastly, we have the ostrich. They will bury their head, assume nothing is happening, everything is very okay.
For peace sake.
For peace sake.
About to go to for a break. Naona hapa kuna kamilioni watatu wamejitokeza. Kuna beaver mmoja pia kwa hapa. Naona kuna turtle na kuna bonge la gorilla pia.
Yes.
So watu wako hapa tutaongea nao. Wewe uko wapi by the way? Wewe sikujua tuko hapo. Mimi nishajiona.
Ushajiona.
Naona ni kama siko mahali pazuri.
Experience the hope, the music, the anointing. This is Hope FM, where you listen and live.
Shajara ya biashara na Dolly Mwirigi.
Hujambo, juhudi za kuimarisha uzalishaji wa chakula zimeendelezwa katika kaunti ya Kilifi baada ya serikali ya
Sifu jina lake Yesu, sifu jina lake Yesu, yeye ni Alfa na Omega, pia nuru ya dunia. Basi ndo tumwabudu. He's an awesome God. He's a mighty God. He's an awesome God. He's a mighty God. So let us praise his name. So let us sing his praises. Sifu jina lake Yesu. Sifu
naitwa Amani, jina lake Yesu. Of course, you know, Amani is a big name in Kenya. She was a big name in the secular world, got saved, and she's doing it for the glory of God. Jina lake Yesu. Getting us to 24 minutes, the top of the hour. We're talking about conflict resolution here. And nawaona na mshajiona, there's somebody saying, Karis, mimi ni wanyama wengi hapo. Mungu saidia. Somebody saying, nitajaribu kuwa ostrich sasa. So we want to know, now that you know the kind of person you are when it comes to conflict and how you react to conflict. How now do you deal with yourself, and how do you deal with somebody if you get yourself in a place of conflict? Mrs. Mashari.
Thank you. Something more about the root causes. Apart from personality, there is unmet expectations. There's what I expected from Peter, and I'm not fighting it. I trusted God for a husband. I believed him. I kept myself pure. Is this what I'm getting? So there are those unmet expectations from either way. Then there's also other causes like unresolved pasts, which you carry a lot of baggage here and all that. And then also other things like how somebody spends money, how the in-laws expect you to behave. They come in very strongly. So on the surface, we'll have several things that will trigger unmet expectations and personality issues. So money, in-laws, maybe even how you handle your children. All these things now trigger all those kind of conflicts. But very important that we learn how to resolve conflict. Now, basically, people deal with conflict in three main ways. Number one is must win. So it doesn't matter what the issue is or what your argument is and how logical and how true and how reasonable it is. I've got to win.
I must win.
I must win. A very dangerous stance, because what happens is if I must win, the other person is left wondering, whom am I in this kind of matrix, And if you must win, then you invalidate the other person. They feel they're not important. And if you are allowed to win, and that is why the other person must not allow you to always win, you show the other person that your perspective of life and your view and what you hold is not important. So you win. If a must-win person is always allowed to win, now you lose a lot in the whole process. And it's not true. My view, my understanding of things is as important as yours. But if you are the one who is winning all the time, then there's something we are losing in this relationship. And big time. You're showing the other person you're not important. The overall message, I'm not important in this thing. And therefore, the other person must always look for a way to come around. You won, but there's something we have lost. So let's still look for a way. You got to press on. We don't give up, because that is not a good stance. Now, the other one is to negotiate. Negotiating means you leave your stance a little bit. I leave my stance a little bit. We find a middle ground. Okay, you want to go for the white party we talked about last time. I don't know that we talked about parties and friends. And then you want to go twice a month. But we have small children. And you also want to come at 3 a.m.
Nice one. We've not talked
So,
about that.
so we negotiate. Okay, I will go for one party and you come at midnight instead of 3 a.m. You see, nothing much has changed. Somehow we have bargained. You take that, I leave that, and all that. It's not a very nice situation to be in. Because again, the conflict is still there. It's not resolved. I still have very bad feelings when you come at that hour, because I know that is not the ideal thing. The only thing is I ceded a bit of ground for you to sit a little bit, but still there's a gray area. There's a no man's land in between. And that does not augur well for a relationship. Now, the other way, and the most preferred way, and this is what works, is resolving conflict. Let us sit and resolve it. Whereby we sit, we talk, and we listen. And normally that does not happen between the four walls of a house. You need to go out. You need to relax. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you don't need to spend. You can actually sit in the grass out there and then talk about whatever it is that you've been having feelings about for the longest. And you know, when it is unresolved, it keeps popping up its ugly head. Every small thing you do, it keeps popping up. So it needs to be resolved and resolved amicably. And some of the things that we do when we're resolving conflict, number one, handle your anger. And conflict in any relationship can lead to very bad feelings and heightened feelings of anger. So deal with your anger, and then listen carefully, listen even for the nonverbals. Whatever it is that somebody is portraying on their face, you can see that hurt, you can see that pain. And because we are in it for keeps, now we got to look for something that works for the two of us. Remember, like we said one time, there's a person we created called the One, this marriage. You and I became one. Now this one gets so hurt when this kind of mvurutano in a car. So listen very carefully. Then we must aim for a godly solution. The solution has to be godly. And then make it a private affair. Conflict, let us, I think what I have heard people say is that, and it is very true, it all boils back to the two of you. So you can call somebody for help, but as a last resort, make it private. You don't need to today walk, I don't know, to so-and-so's house, tomorrow so-and-so's house. Sijui my parents, sijui your parents.
Na social media. Hey, kwanza young people. Cheki kimutu mnakiona huku na masuti. Kijalipa school fees.
And then tomorrow you're in good times.
Tomorrow you're sending an apology.
You see?
Na ulikuwa live.
Exactly. Then people look at you and you're looking almost foolish. They wonder, what are you doing together? You're the one who put this person on social media. And today you're holding hands and stuff like that. Then focus on changing your behavior. You cannot change the other person. The focus should be me. Let me change. Let me do the right thing. Because in marriage, as we say, you got to give 100%. We don't share 50-50. I give 100%. I present the best of myself. I forgive. Whether you want to forgive me or not, I need to forgive you, because that is part of resolving conflict. I need to forgive you. I need to listen to you. I need to look forward to a godly solution. I need to cede my ground, and we need to look for a solution that honors God, because ultimately the solution has to honor God. And let us be careful not to provoke one another in the whole process, like in the ways Peter has explained, because sometimes we provoke each other. You want the other person to look the bad one, and to look like the one who is responsible for this mess. Were it not for you this, you did this, I don't know, you told your mother this, we wouldn't be where we are. No. Let us know that we are one. We resolve it amicably. Both of us start to benefit.
Wow.
And there is no conflict that cannot be resolved.
There's no conflict that cannot be
Resolved.
Yes.
Wow. Somebody from the Deliverance Church Zimmerman hapa anaitwa Alice Kimani. She says, congratulations Peter and Anne. So happy that you get to share this wisdom with many. Wow. Now let's come to...
Thank you.
I love what Mrs. Macharia you've said. Textbook mzuri sana. Reality, watu wanapigwa silent treatment. Mtu anakuta mpikwa ugali jaiva. Na boy child wanatumia hiyo kama excuse hata ya kukua physical na in Mr. Masha, can you speak to a relationship or a marriage right now, you know, that has these things?
Thank you. Very important. Actually, every marriage goes through this, and there is one that is currently going through. It's at the thick of it. One thing that you must always keep on looking back is where you started, what you had as your objective for your family, because you desired a successful family. You desired that your family will succeed, and therefore, as Anne has said, there is no conflict that cannot be resolved, or that you cannot be able to solve the issues that are there. So the best thing will be look for opportunity to sit together and discuss what are the issues that are ailing your family. In the past, we have said, keep on dating. Keep on looking for opportunities to go and grab that cup of tea. If not available, to take that walk. When children are not there, the people in your house are not there, just take that walk. What happens in that case? You are in an environment different from where you're discussing the finances, you're discussing the challenges, you're discussing the problems. You have gone now to be just the two of you. So when you're walking or you're taking a cup of tea somewhere, it is possible for you to ask, I have seen you have been ABC. ABC has been happening. Have I wronged you? Or what could I have done that has made you unhappy? And then I give her time to speak. The problem with most of the time, and of course we did it when we were young in marriage, is as she's talking, I'm preparing my defense. So I didn't even take time to listen to her. I was quick to throw back words because you're out to hurt her as much as she hurt you, sometimes even more. But you see what happens in that case? We are destroying our own marriage. But now I take time. And after she has said what I have done, I need to take time and ask, did I hear you? Or have I got you right? That this is where the issue is. And now she says yes, or she wants to clarify, you didn't get what I said. I said ABCD. Now take time and don't be defensive. We normally say feedback is the breakfast of champions. If you want to become a champion, ask for feedback. That is what the work of the coaches they do. That's the work of the trainers, what they do. They want to give you feedback. They want to see you in action and so on. So I listen to her and she tells me, you did ABCD, or you have neglected us as a family and ABC. This is what I really want you to do. And I can seek clarification. Would it be better if I can do ABCD? Now, when I'm asking questions and she's telling me what she thinks would be right, we try to resolve it. And remember, at the back of our mind, God never starts something that he cannot finish. And he needs to finish it and finish it well. Because one day I'll want to present her before God and say, God, you gave me this one. Look at what I've done with her. But she cannot run there looking battered and and worn out, We'd want to present her looking glorious before God. So taking time to listen to each other, taking time to really discuss, going to the depth of what is the issue without shouting, and being deliberate about listening, being deliberate about handling the real issue and checking with the other person. Is this what you really mean? Yeah.
There's somebody here saying when there is conflict in the home, even the best food will taste like herbs.
Very true. Very true. And everything in that home knows there's conflict. Even children. The children are able to perceive even that which is not spoken. Human beings, we release certain, I don't know, let me call it energy. We release energy that even a dog that is normally nice, when you are a person with ill intentions, it can sense you're not a good person. Children, you try to hold a child, when you have ill intentions, they will scream. But when you are, you are pure in your heart and so on, they sense that peace within you and they want to come to you. Wow. The same thing happens in our houses. Ata paka itakaa mbali na wewe.
Mrs. Macharia.
Yes.
Talk to the ladies here. There is somebody says hapa, kusolve conflict sio shida. Inaanzaga na accusatory like language. Mtu amechelewa, anaambia ametoka sijui kwa mama nani. So from there inakuwa moto already. You have accused me. You have not asked me kumeenda aje. And anasema ebu ask the lady guest to talk to our wives. I don't know akona wangapi, lakini maybe ana represent anasema it's accusatory, so it's already nitaanza kujitetea badala ya ku have conversation.
True. It boils down to how we communicate. Now remember, it's possible to complain about something, but in a camouflaged way. It doesn't look like a complaint. Actually, I'm stating my concern, but I am not bashing you. I'm not confronting you. So you have come late. You have done this. You have done this. Now, when I decide to talk about it, or I decide now, let's talk about it. Now, first of all, I've got to look for a very opportune moment. I cannot ask you that time you have come. Why have you come late? Or umetoka kwa nani saa hizi? Seriously, you'll go on your defense. So I little think you should not put anyone on the spot at any one particular time. We are in it together. Let's look for a better time when maybe in time of peace, let me bring it up. And there's some people who have perfected that art of bringing it up when you least expect it. You know, like we are joking, we are cool and all that. And then you tell somebody, by the way, there's something that has been bothering me. Not you have been coming late. You don't start by pointing a finger at the other person. You immediately throw them to their defense. I start with myself. I get offended, or I feel ill-treated, or I feel demeaned when you do 1, 2, 3. Now that shifts the blame from you, and now the focus is on what you make me feel. And every human being now will, as long as there is love, this person will want to really find out, really, I have been that to you. I've really offended you. Don't accuse fingers. Do you do this? No. Start with, I feel this when you do 1, 2, 3. Timing is very important. Then number 3, listen. Let the person talk to the end. Especially when you accuse. Allow them the space to talk. To the end. Let them air their feelings. And this forms the basis of counseling sessions. Normally, nobody will give you textbook solutions like mix water and salt, you get this. No. The solutions are normally within you. So if it is him that I was telling you, make me feel 1, 2, 3, then most likely the question would be, how can I make it better for you? And you find now that becomes a very peaceful way of sorting out something. So once again, mind the environment. Don't bring it up again when they are friends, because ultimately a man would feel very disrespected. And I think ladies have to learn this. You cannot ask him those kind of things or plan to confront him when his friends are visiting him in the house. That will not work. Fireworks.
Baba ambao ulinunua gari, ongea naye mtu.
I've been telling him.
Nimekuwa nikimwambia umuhimu wa gari. There's also comparison, and maybe it comes with during arguments. And what is the place of us being saved when it comes to conflict? Because it can get out of control. Kuna wale wanasema nikipanda mimi sishuki banze, mimi nitaenda. Kuna wale they the apology after apology. Sorry, I hit you. Because it got heated and stuff. What does us being Christians and not just by name help, or what is the essence of God in all these things, especially conflict in our relationships? The young people here are shocked, and say, hey, kumbe marriage inakuanga hivi. That's why we're having this conversation. And I pray that before you marry, this conversation will be tabled to you in the place of premarital class.
Yes.
What? Because we cannot have conflicts the same way those non-believers have conflicts.
Yeah. Allow me to mention what we call the 4 walls of a Christian home. The first one is family altar, where each day you have some time to pray together and to read the word of God together. And man, you are divinely ordained to be the priest in that home. That does not mean that she cannot share, or even the child cannot share, but it means that as a family, there is a very clear direction. You have time to pray together. You have time to call upon God for the family. And at that point, of course, some of the issues may come up during as we are going through. Of course, the word of God can also be used
Yeah,
in
it
a
is
twisted way
it's a
to
sword.
hate somebody. Yes. The second one, that people need to agree as they're getting into marriage or once inside the marriage, is the home church. Which church will you be going? We have seen people, one goes to this church, another one goes to the other. That's it confuses the children. And even both of you, when you have your home fellowship coming, or your church is going somewhere, and the other one is having ABCD, there are rooms for conflict. But when both of you, and if possible, look for opportunity to serve together in maybe ministries within the church. Like we have served in the Couples That Grow ministry in our church for a long time together, premarital counseling and so forth. You look for opportunity to serve together because you're looking for those points or those opportunities that give you chance to be together. You know, you even have more things to talk about, to discuss. The other one is defining Christian standards and values for your home. What are those things that really, what you say, irreducible minimum, these things you cannot allow in your home? Who are those people that you cannot even allow into your home? What kind of movies, what kind of songs, what kind of, what environment do you want to create in that home? So that as the children come, they come and find mom and dad don't shout at each other. Even whoever else comes in the home, they'll not start shouting. They come and find mom and dad don't use certain words in this home. We pray every morning, every evening, we have time to pray. We go to church. We do ABCD. They will be able to follow. Then lastly, the fourth wall is a home needs to be a place of belonging, where everybody feels it's not a house with people who stay inside. It is, there's the warmth, there's the laugh, there is the feeling that this is a place that everybody wants to stay. So if we can define, and that's why we are saying young people, or even if it is within a marriage, be deliberate about family altar. Be deliberate about where will you be going to worship. Be deliberate about developing clear standards. Don't confuse the children that today you are this, tomorrow you are this. And lastly, can we create that environment where everybody feels they belong? Those are the four critical walls that every couple needs to define within their home. Now, when there is conflict within the home, because conflict, as the young person has said, there is conflict everywhere, because even him and the brother and the sister, they are conflicting, and yet they were born, they stay in the same home and so forth. So inside marriage, Christians must remember what the Word of God says first about forgiveness. Forgiveness, Jesus is like said, there's room for forgiveness at all times. You see, think about forgiveness, that this person I'm going to. Secondly, think about who has ordained that marriage, who has brought you together, and what was his intention for that family. Therefore, as you use words that are cutting, that are hurting, and you cannot withdraw words once they have been released, then even if it is during conflict resolution, do it with love. Because really, that is what has been put in us. Do it with love. And that is why you will think about how can we resolve our issue in the most amicable manner. Because there is a word I will say, and Anne will not forget. You told me this. So let's do it remembering who we are. Yes.
Wow. I have a question, but I want to put this question as the first thing we'll talk about next week. It's about the place of conflict resolution, like the place. See, like when you, like I've seen young people dating wanachapana makofi kwa public, and I'm like, if these people ever get married, itakuanga shida. Is there like a place where preferably take your conflicts to a specific place, si mbele ya watu, si mbele ya watoto ama nini because ziko so I think hiyo si kitu ya dakika moja. I also need time to go frame that question vizuri kwa sababu nimeona vijana wakipigwa makofi in public and we've also okayed like slapping each other, like a slap from a woman is nothing, it is a normal thing, kijana akiweza slap, hiyo ni case, you know, tunampeleka amefungwa huko jela. So we are okaying some things in the form of conflict, you know, and I feel like we should have such conversations also here.
Very true.
Somebody's even challenging us, why not have a seminar here and invite couples? And you know what, there are things coming, trust me, from the afternoon switch desk. There are things coming. You na tukiwaita msikose kukuja, tusipate mmoja hapa nje na, but things are cooking. Thank you so much, the Masharias. I can tell you guys are God sent here, not only to help us but also to help me. Baraka,